Welcome to Spiritual Vacancy, the space where we stop running from the void and start filling it. I'm Brooke Ann, I'm a professional psychic medium, and in each episode, we dive deep into the practices, stories, and insights that turn spiritual hunger into spiritual wholeness. If you've been feeling like something is missing, you're in the right place. Let's fill the gap together, and your journey starts now. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for listening in. And if you listen in every week, I just want to say thank you. Or every time I post a video, I used to do it weekly. Now I do it like bi-weekly, sometimes tri-weekly, depending on my schedule. But sometimes I feel like I'm speaking into the void, and I just appreciate anybody's feedback or when you guys message me saying you really enjoyed the episode or even the comment section. I just love hearing any kind of feedback. So I thank you. Today, I want to talk about our boundaries. Boundaries with spirit, boundaries with family and friends. And I think as we are intuitive, spiritual empaths, we always try to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, even when we know our gut or our instincts is telling us differently. And I think that's lessons that we have to learn in this life, being empathetic and just in tune. We always want to be like the fixer or make excuses for people that we admire or people that we love to be like, oh, it's okay. They won't do that again. Or be like, well, they said sorry, but then they don't change, you know, their actions. And that can be kind of frustrating when you're giving a lot of yourself, but you're not getting anything in return. And I think as we grow spiritually, we start to set those boundaries of, does this make my life better? Do I want to be around this energy? And, how do I stop from being around this energy without feeling guilty doing it? Because I feel like a lot of times it's the guilt feeling of letting somebody down, but then it's like, what about yourself? Do you want to let yourself down too? And this goes with like friendships, family, coworkers, or even strangers on the internet. It is amazing how we let people that we don't even know affect our mood, affect how we are, because the internet is so negative. It is such a negative, like, cesspool of keyboard warriors that you will never know in real life. They'll never come to your house. They'll never book a session. They'll never go to wherever it is you work because they're just negative Nellies, right? But yet we let them get under our skin. And I think like the best thing to do is just block. Block them. Don't let them bother you, or don't spend your time arguing with people online. You're not going to change their mind. They're not going to see it your way. For me, it's just easier. I just block. I have learned in my life dealing with a lot of shitty relationships, a lot of friendships, coworkers that were shitty, family members that were shitty, even my own father. I have not talked to him in 12 years. And, that's a boundary. That is something I had to set in place. And I've also learned dealing with people or girlfriends where if I start seeing patterns in them of they're complaining about everybody else or all these friends are the problem, I'm thinking, am I the problem? Because evidently all of their friends are a problem to them or they have issues with them. And sometimes you have to think about if if they have a problem with everybody else, they're probably the problem. Not that many people are going to be, aggressive or have discontent with, unless the one person that's constantly complaining is the problem. And I think in our spiritual journey, we have to decipher, when is it time to spend the energy on someone or a friendship, and when is the time to let it go? And don't feel guilty about blocking them from your life. Because the thing is, if you want to invite them to your house, what does it matter? If they're not welcome at your house, they don't know your address, you've never hung out with them like that, what is the connection of keeping them around if they cause any kind of discontent or any kind of negative feelings within yourself? Because that's a question you have to ask yourself. Why are you putting up with it? Why are you allowing this person to be in your energy when you can choose not to? And it's super simple. And anytime I've blocked anybody, it just feels so good. And then you forget about them. I really don't even think about them anymore unless somebody brings them up. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I have them blocked. And I don't care. Like it doesn't bother me one bit because it's my boundaries. It's my energy. I want to choose who I want to be around. I want to choose who I want to spend time with. And I feel like if people are draining, I don't want to be around them anymore. There's also, when you start looking at people that are quote unquote spiritual, right? You be very aware of who they hang out with. Because the thing is, women that are all about, oh, I'm such a girly girl and I'm all about the women. A lot of times, when people have to promote themselves as something, they're the exact opposite. And if they hang out with women that have done really bad things to other women, you have to ask yourself, how true are they to that? Because if they were really about women, they wouldn't be communicating or hanging out or being around someone that has that kind of negative energy towards others. It just makes you really see it from a different perspective, right? From the outside in. And I always look at relationships like that. If there's somebody in my life that is very close to me, or I talk to them weekly, and they have all these issues going on around them, I kind of want to step back a little bit because I'm thinking, am I going to become an issue for them? If they're talking bad about all these other people, when does it become they talk bad about me? And that's how I kind of see it. Like, if somebody will constantly talk bad about people, you're next. You're going to be on the chopping block. They're going to find something wrong with you or bad with you. And it's like, I just don't want to be in that energy. I always say if somebody will talk really bad about their spouse, they'll definitely talk shit about you. And the thing is, the spouse is supposed to be, their best friend, the person they love. And I'm not talking about venting, right? I'm not talking about, just talking about being in a relationship because there are trials and some trials and errors and all that stuff, right? And that we want to talk to our friends about to, just vent in a different way, but not tear them down, not talk complete crap about them, not tell them every fight that you get into or any argument or, just things that might bother you or things that you're dealing with that your spouse might not understand. Excuse me. And that is like, that feels good when you have somebody that you could do that with. But I'm talking about when somebody just tears them into the ground and is talking so bad about them every time you see them, that is such a red flag for me. You have to look at your friends. Are they using you? Do they only call you when they need something? Do they call you, vent on you, and then hang up? Are they not supportive of you? The worst thing is one of my friends told me they were a silent supporter. I don't even know what that means. To me, that just feels like hater energy. Um, like I would never want to be a silent supporter. I don't think that's fair for a friendship. Like maybe a stranger or someone you have a connection with, like an acquaintance, but for someone to be in my life that I talk to every week and them tell me that they're a silent supporter. So they don't want to support me on social media. They don't want to talk to me about anything that I'm doing in my life because when I look back, she never asked questions about anything I was doing. That's not okay. And why are they doing that? Are they secretly jealous? Are they a hater? Is there something about me that they truly don't like? Um, so I blocked them and I ended the friendship. And, I told them how I felt and they unfriended me. So I went one step further and blocked them. Don't unfriend me, just block me, right? Don't, and I haven't talked to her since. And the thing is, that's such an awful thing to do because I couldn't imagine being a silent supporter to the people that I'm proud of, to the people that I want to cheer on. I want to see everybody happy, and I feel like when people don't, they're miserable. They don't know where they're at in their life. So it's easier to not support other people because they don't know where they're going. They don't know what's going on with them. And I feel like that's such an awful mindset, especially to be at a certain age. We're not 16. It's different when you're going through puberty and really trying to figure out who you are. But when you get into your 40s, you should definitely know who you are or have some sense about boundaries with people. And I think that's the problem with us empaths. We always want to give the benefit of the doubt. So we stay in friendships or we stay in relationships or we stay with coworkers longer than we should because we're constantly like, oh, they'll change, or that was just one time. And then one time turns into 20 times. And it's when we start seeing that pattern or that recognition of, I don't think this is the best for me. I feel like when you start taking your power back and setting those boundaries, it feels so freeing where you just know people cannot interrupt your peace. People cannot take certain things away from you. But it also shows you that you're in control of your life. You're the one putting up the blocks. You're the one saying, no, I don't want to be around you. And I feel like if people ask you, you should be honest. I don't feel like we should go around saying, stuff to people about, this or that, just be done. There's certain people you're never going to change. No matter how you feel or no matter how they make you feel, they're just stuck in their ways. And I think with being on a spiritual journey, it's learning to say no. It's learning to say my peace is more important than pleasing you, than making you feel happy, than making you feel okay. Now, if you truly want to do something for somebody, do it because then it feels good. Don't do anything you feel forced, right? And I also feel like people will show their true colors. People will show who they are, where if you give and give and give and they never give back, and that's not what it's about, but there should be an energy exchange. I'm not talking about monetary exchanges or any kind of gift giving. I'm talking about feelings. I'm talking about support. There should be an exchange in support. And when we're not feeling that, it's time to step back. And I think we need to start trusting our gut and our intuition more so now than ever because we don't. We could do it for everybody else. If you had a friend and they needed advice and they wanted you to tell them, your thoughts on it, you would probably give better advice to them than for yourself. And I think that's something we need to change. And I'm learning that and I've been trusting it. And the more experiences that I have with people in my life that have shown me that I should have trusted my gut, it makes it easier to notice as time goes by. But I don't miss those friendships. I don't miss those relationships that were negative because they really were, or using me for rides or services, or, you know, I had a friend that would call me and be like, I need Reiki. Okay, well, I've done Reiki on you several times for free. And then when I told her what I was going to charge her for it, she didn't book. That just showed me that she doesn't really care about me. Because if you do, you would want to support your friends. You would want to say, oh my gosh, how much does this charge? I would never expect anything for free from my friends because I want to support them. But that just showed me, like, wow, I've done it so many times for her, just out of my heart. And the one time I asked to tell her, like, no, I need to charge you for this time, it's a no. So we learn as we grow, right? And I should have trusted, I should have charged her sooner. After the first time, I should have been like, I'll charge. But no, I'm giving. So I'm like, well, okay, I'll go ahead. It's fine. You're here visiting. No worries. I'm already with you. But I got to set that boundary and I have to learn to say no. And I have to say, this is my energy, my time. and I deserve to be paid for it. I deserve to be given back something besides a thank you after doing it for so much. And I think that's what we have to learn being empathetic and being on our spiritual journey is knowing who we truly are. And I think that's really important. And I know a lot of people that are going through learning to set boundaries with people, learning to not be so forgiving, like forgiving once, but maybe not again. And it's a guilt thing. It's something that we replay over and over in our mind. Did we do the right thing? Worried about their feelings. Did we hurt them by saying no? We have to move past that in our journey to be the best version of ourselves, to fully connect into our higher self, to say, yeah, no, I did set that boundary and I feel better doing it. And it gets easier with time, I promise, because if you know me, you know I am quick to block somebody. I am quick to say, I don't want to be around that energy. And it's freeing and it feels so good. So I hope that whoever is listening to this today, go block the people, go set that boundary, go tell people like you don't want to be around them, or just start stepping back, quit answering the calls, quit taking the text messages, quit responding, and see what happens and see how you feel. And I hope whoever needed to hear this was listening today. So if you guys are going through this, I am sending you so much love. I'm sending you so much energy. I'm sending you my blocking abilities and the power to be of, that freeing feeling. And so I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. The coming episodes are going to be all about the clairs, so I hope you can tune in then. I'm going to be doing like a little series about all the different clairs that we have and how we all can use every single one of them. Some might be stronger than others, but we could also use that and our intuition into the boundaries as well. So I hope everyone has a beautiful day. I will see you all next time and namaste.